Welcome to Drift Off and Discover, your calm place to unwind as we explore the history of the bath plug. Before we begin, a brief note for your safety. Please do not listen to this wander through history while driving or operating machinery. Only listen when you're somewhere you can relax safely and completely. There is a quiet comfort in the small objects that shape our daily rituals. Some are so familiar that we rarely pause to consider how they came to be. The bath plug is one of these modest companions, a simple device that allows water to gather, settle, and cradle us in warmth. Tonight, you are invited to drift into a gentle exploration of its long and surprisingly intricate story. We will move slowly through time, letting each chapter unfold like ripples across still water. There will be no rush, no urgency, only a soft and steady journey through centuries of bathing traditions, early inventions, and the gradual refinement of a tool that helps create moments of rest. Allow your breath to settle. Let your shoulders loosen, and when you are ready, we will begin our quiet wander through the history of the bath plug. In the earliest civilizations, long before the idea of a modern bathroom existed, people already understood the comfort of warm water gathered in a basin. The ancient world was filled with stone tubs, clay vessels, and carved pools that invited moments of cleansing and calm. Yet these early bathing spaces had no simple way to hold water in place. Instead, they relied on the natural shape of the vessel or on carefully crafted channels that guided water in and out. In Mesopotamia, where some of the first known bathing rooms were created, water flowed through stone-lined drains that carried it away. These spaces were designed for ritual as much as for cleanliness, and the movement of water was part of the experience. There was no need to stop the flow, no need to hold it still. The idea of a plug had not yet taken shape. In ancient Egypt, bathing was often done in basins that were filled and emptied by hand. Servants poured water from jars, letting it cascade over the bather before it collected in shallow depressions in the floor. These depressions allowed water to gather briefly before it was swept away. Again, there was no device to seal the opening. The water was never meant to linger. It was in ancient Greece that the first hints of a more controlled bathing experience began to appear. Greek bathhouses featured tubs carved from stone or shaped from bronze, and some of these tubs had small openings near the base to allow water to drain. These openings could be covered with simple stoppers made from cloth or shaped pieces of wood. They were not plugs in the modern sense, but they represented the earliest attempts to hold water in place. The Romans expanded on this idea with their grand bath complexes. Their baths were feats of engineering, with heated floors, flowing pools, and intricate plumbing systems. Some private Roman homes featured tubs with small drain holes that could be blocked with waxed cloth or rounded stones. These makeshift stoppers were the ancestors of the bath plug, humble beginnings that allowed water to gather and remain still for a time. As you picture these ancient spaces, imagine the soft glow of oil lamps reflecting on water, the gentle echo of footsteps on stone, and the quiet satisfaction of water held in place by the simplest of means. The story of the bath plug begins here, in the earliest moments when people first tried to pause the movement of water. When the Roman Empire faded, many of its bathing traditions faded with it. Across much of Europe, large communal bathhouses became less common, and bathing returned to a simpler, more private practice. Wooden tubs and portable basins became the norm, and with them came a renewed reliance on manual methods of filling and emptying water. In medieval homes, a bath was often a special occasion. A wooden tub would be brought near the hearth, where warm air could soften the chill of the water. Buckets were carried back and forth, each one adding to the rising pool. When the bath was finished, the water was scooped out or the tub was tipped to empty it. There was no drain to plug, no opening to seal. The design of the tub itself made the idea unnecessary. Yet in monasteries and wealthier estates, more sophisticated bathing arrangements began to appear. Stone floors with drainage channels allowed water to flow away, and some of these channels could be blocked with simple wooden stoppers. These stoppers were not shaped with precision, but they served their purpose. They were early, practical solutions to the desire to hold water in place. In the Middle East, bathing culture remained rich and elaborate. Hammams continued the traditions of Roman and Byzantine bathhouses, with warm rooms, cool rooms, and flowing water. While these spaces relied on constant movement rather than stillness, some private baths used clay or wooden stoppers to control the flow of water in small basins. Throughout the medieval world, the idea of a plug remained simple and functional. It was not yet a refined object, not yet a standard part of a bathing space. But the concept persisted quietly, waiting for a time when plumbing would evolve and the need for a reliable seal would become essential. As you imagine these medieval baths, picture the soft crackle of firelight, the scent of warm wood, and the gentle rhythm of water poured by hand. The bath plug was still a modest idea, but it was slowly taking shape. The Renaissance brought renewed interest in comfort, craftsmanship, and the pleasures of daily life. As homes became more refined, so did the objects within them. Bathing remained a private ritual, but the tools used for it began to show greater care and artistry. Wooden tubs were often lined with metal to help retain heat. Some of these tubs included small openings near the base that allowed water to drain more easily. To block these openings, artisans crafted stoppers from cork, wood, or shaped metal. These early plugs were often attached to a small chain or cord to prevent them from being misplaced. The chain was a simple addition, but it marked an important step toward the modern bath plug. Cork became a popular material during this period. Lightweight, buoyant, and naturally water-resistant, it could be shaped to fit snugly into a drain opening. Craftsmen sometimes coated cork stoppers with wax or resin to improve the seal. These stoppers were not perfect, but they represented a growing understanding of how to control water with greater precision. In wealthier homes, bathing rooms began to include more permanent fixtures. Stone basins with carved drains allowed for easier filling and emptying, and these drains often relied on fitted stoppers. The idea of a dedicated plug was becoming more common, though it was still far from universal. As you picture these Renaissance bathing spaces, imagine the soft glow of candlelight on polished metal, the gentle scent of beeswax, and the quiet satisfaction of water held in place by a carefully crafted stopper. The bath plug was becoming more than a simple tool. It was becoming a small piece of thoughtful design. The 17th and 18th centuries brought significant changes to the way water moved through homes. Early plumbing systems began to appear in cities, allowing water to be delivered and drained with greater ease. With these new systems came a growing need for reliable ways to control the flow of water. Baths were still often portable, but fixed tubs were becoming more common in wealthier households. These tubs were made from copper, tin, or cast iron, and many included built-in drains. The drains required stoppers that could create a tight seal, and this need drove new innovations in plug design. Cork remained a popular material, but it was often combined with metal fittings to improve durability. Some plugs were shaped from brass or pewter, designed to fit precisely into the drain opening. These metal plugs were heavier and more reliable, though they could be cold to the touch. Chains became standard attachments, preventing plugs from being lost or misplaced. The gentle clink of a metal chain against the side of a tub became a familiar sound in many homes, a small reminder of the growing sophistication of bathing spaces. As plumbing systems improved, the idea of a dedicated bath plug became increasingly important. Water could now be delivered more easily, and people wanted the ability to hold it in place without fuss. The plug was evolving from a simple stopper into a carefully engineered tool. Imagine the quiet of an 18th century bathing room, the soft echo of water flowing through new pipes, and the steady presence of a plug designed to keep that water still. The story of the bath plug was entering a new era. The Victorian era transformed the way people thought about cleanliness, comfort, and the home. Indoor plumbing became more widespread, and with it came the rise of the modern bathroom. This new space required tools that were reliable, hygienic, and easy to use. The bath plug became an essential part of this transformation. Victorian bathtubs were often made from cast iron coated with enamel, creating smooth surfaces that were easier to clean. These tubs featured built-in drains with standardized sizes, allowing manufacturers to create plugs that fit more consistently. Rubber, a material that had recently become more widely available, proved ideal for creating a tight seal. The first true rubber bath plugs appeared during this period. Soft, flexible, and water-resistant, they could conform to the shape of the drain opening, preventing leaks. Many were attached to metal chains that hung neatly over the side of the tub, ready to be lifted when the bath was finished. Victorian homes often featured ornate fixtures, and even the humble bath plug was sometimes decorated with small metal caps or engraved fittings. Though simple in function, it was treated as a part of the overall design of the bathroom. As you imagine a Victorian bathroom, picture the soft sheen of enamel, the gentle warmth of gas lighting, and the quiet satisfaction of a rubber plug settling into place. The bath plug had finally become a familiar household object, a small but essential part of daily life. The Industrial Revolution brought mass production, and with it came the standardization of everyday objects. Bath plugs were now manufactured in factories, allowing for consistent sizes, shapes, and materials. This consistency made them more reliable and more widely available. Rubber remained the material of choice, but new forms of rubber processing allowed for greater durability. Plugs were often moulded into tapered shapes that fit snugly into drains of various sizes. Some included small metal rings for attaching chains, while others were designed to be lifted by a simple tab. As indoor plumbing spread to more homes, the bath plug became a universal tool. It was no longer a luxury item found only in wealthier households. It was a standard part of the bathroom, as familiar as the tap or the soap dish. Manufacturers experimented with different designs, including plugs that sat flush with the drain and plugs that expanded slightly when pressed into place. These innovations aim to create a better seal and a more satisfying bathing experience. Picture the quiet efficiency of an early 20th century bathroom, the smooth curve of a porcelain tub, and the gentle weight of a rubber plug resting in your hand. The bath plug had become a dependable companion, ready to hold water still whenever needed. By the early 20th century, the bath plug and chain had become an iconic pairing. The chain ensured that the plug would never be lost, and it added a small sense of ritual to the act of preparing a bath. The gentle motion of lowering the plug into place, the soft sound of the chain settling against the tub, and the slow rise of warm water created a moment of calm that many people came to cherish. Chains were made from brass, steel, or nickel-plated metal, chosen for their resistance to rust. Some were simple and functional, while others featured decorative links or small ornamental details. The chain became a subtle part of the bathroom aesthetic, a quiet presence that contributed to the overall sense of comfort. As bathing became more associated with relaxation rather than necessity, the bath plug played an important role in creating a space of stillness. It allowed water to gather and remain warm, inviting long moments of rest. Imagine the soft steam rising from a freshly drawn bath, the gentle clink of the chain as it settles, and the quiet satisfaction of water held perfectly in place. The bath plug had become a symbol of simple comfort. The mid-20th century brought new materials and new ideas to bathroom design. Plastics became widely available, offering lightweight and affordable alternatives to rubber and metal. Bath plugs were now made from flexible plastics that could be molded into precise shapes, ensuring a reliable seal. Some plugs were designed with suction cups that allowed them to adhere to the drain opening. Others featured built-in handles or tabs that made them easier to remove. The variety of designs reflected a growing interest in convenience and ease of use. Bathrooms themselves were changing, with new colours, textures and styles becoming popular. Bath plugs were often produced in matching colours, allowing them to blend seamlessly into the overall design. They became part of a coordinated aesthetic, a small detail that contributed to the harmony of the space. As you picture these mid-century bathrooms, imagine the soft pastel tones, the smooth surfaces, and the gentle simplicity of a plastic plug resting in a clean, bright tub. The bath plug continued to evolve, adapting to the changing tastes and needs of the time. In the late 20th century, bathroom design began to favour integrated systems that combined the plug and drain into a single mechanism. Pop-up drains, operated by a lever or button, became increasingly common. These systems eliminated the need for a separate plug and chain, offering a sleek and modern appearance. While traditional plugs remained popular, especially in older homes and simpler designs, the integrated drain represented a new approach to controlling water. It was convenient, easy to use, and visually unobtrusive. Yet, even as these new systems gained popularity, the classic plug and chain retained a certain charm. Many people appreciated the tactile experience of placing the plug by hand, the gentle ritual that marked the beginning of a relaxing bath. Imagine the quiet click of a pop-up drain, the smooth motion of a lever, or the familiar weight of a traditional plug. Each method offered its own sense of comfort, its own way of holding water still. Today, the bath plug exists in many forms. Traditional rubber plugs, modern pop-up drains, silicone stoppers, and magnetic seals all serve the same simple purpose. They hold water in place, creating a space for rest, warmth, and stillness. The bath plug is a reminder that even the smallest objects can shape our daily rituals. It is a tool that supports moments of calm, a quiet companion that helps transform a simple bath into a soothing experience. As you reflect on its long history, imagine the gentle weight of a plug in your hand, the soft sound of water rising, and the peaceful stillness that follows. The bath plug has travelled through centuries of innovation, craftsmanship, and design, yet its purpose has remained beautifully simple. It holds water, it holds warmth, it holds a moment of quiet just for you. As this gentle journey comes to an end, allow the story of the bath plug to settle softly in your thoughts. It is a reminder that even the most modest objects carry histories of care, creativity, and quiet usefulness. Let your breath slow, let your body rest, and if sleep begins to drift toward you, welcome it with ease. Thank you for joining this calm exploration. Until next time, may your evenings be peaceful and your rest deep. Thank you so much for sharing this quiet moment with me. If you'd like more bedtime stories like this, then please subscribe now. And if there's a topic you'd love to hear as you drift off, let me know in the comments. Sleep well and be safe.